Okay, so let's talk about AI in 2025 because things are getting, well, really interesting. The whole landscape is going through this massive shakeup. It's not just about one big name anymore, you know who I'm talking about. It's becoming something so much more complex and honestly more exciting. So let's get into it.
So I want to kick things off with a pretty provocative question. Is the age of ChatGPT actually over? Now, I know, that sounds a little dramatic, right? But it really gets to the core of what's going on. This isn't about one tool just vanishing into thin air. It's about a whole new ecosystem bursting into life right before our eyes.
And yeah, that really is the central theme here. The AI market isn't just getting bigger, it's completely changing its shape. We are officially moving past that one tool to rule them all era and stepping into something totally new. A phase that's way more diverse, way more competitive. So the race is really heating up. Look, ChatGPT is still a huge deal, a household name for sure. But it's not the only name in the game anymore, not by a long shot. It's just one player in this massive, super competitive field now. And honestly, that's what makes this so exciting. The best way to think about this is as an AI ecosystem. Yeah, forget the idea of a simple two-horse race. It's not that anymore. Picture this instead, a vibrant, bustling rainforest, full of different species, all these specialized tools competing, adapting, and carving out their own little niche to survive and thrive. All right, so that brings up a big question. Why 2025? What's so special about right now? What's the fuel for this absolute explosion of new AI tools we're seeing? Let's dig into the key drivers behind it. It really boils down to four key things. For one, the basic tech, the large language models or LLMs, is just getting better and cheaper at a mind-blowing speed. This makes it way easier for new companies to jump in. Then you've got the fact that, let's be honest, the novelty of a do-everything chatbot is kind of wearing off. People want tools made for their industry, for their job. And third, big businesses are now looking hard at things like cost, privacy, and how they can actually customize these AIs. And finally, companies are done just playing around. They want to bake this technology right into how they operate every single day. And this is really the key takeaway here. These new companies, they're not really trying to build the next ChatGPT killer. That's not the goal. They're playing a different game. They're finding their own lane, serving these super specific needs. Imagine an AI that only does legal contract analysis, or one that's a genius at debugging code. It's all about specialization. And all this specialization, it's giving rise to a completely new class of AI. Seriously, the tools that are popping up in 2025 are they're built differently from the ground up. You can see the evolution so clearly here. In the beginning, we had these general chatbots, right? They were pretty good with text, but that's about it. Fast forward to 2025, and we're not talking about chatbots anymore. We're talking about platforms that are multimodal, specialized, and integrated. It's a whole different ballgame. So let's unpack what that actually means. Multimodal is a fancy word, but it's simple. You can give it text, an image, some data in a spreadsheet, whatever, and it gets it. It understands all of it together. These tools are also built for real work, not just for fun chats. They're being plugged right into the software you and I use every day, like your Office suite or your company's CRM. And a lot of them are being built on more open, flexible foundations, which gives businesses a ton more control. And for you, the user, this changes everything. We're shifting away from just going with the biggest, most popular name. Now the question becomes, okay, which of these tools is going to do the best job for my specific task? We're choosing based on what actually works best, not just on brand recognition. And that's a massive, massive win. Okay, so what does all this mean for you, practically speaking? What are the actual benefits when the market suddenly gets this crowded and competitive? Well, it's pretty much a win-win-win. For regular users like you and me, it's awesome. More choice means better quality and better prices. For businesses, they get to handpick the absolute best tool for their needs, and they're not locked into a single expensive contract. And for the entire market, all this competition just fuels innovation, making everything faster, safer, and ultimately more available to everyone. What this really tells us is that the whole process has grown up. Companies aren't just dipping their toes in the water anymore. They're making serious strategic decisions. They're putting these AI tools under a microscope, looking at performance, price, specialization, the same way they would if they were buying any other critical piece of business software. And that brings us to the big picture here. It might look a little chaotic out there with all these new names and tools popping up, but all that noise, that's actually a great thing.
A crowded field is a sign of a healthy, thriving market. It's a sign of real progress.
There's a line that just nails this whole idea perfectly. It says, instead of a single dominant platform, innovation is now distributed. Think about that. It's not just coming out of one lab or one company anymore. It's happening everywhere, from everywhere, all at the same time. And that distributed innovation is the engine that's pushing everything forward so fast. It forces everyone to up their game. It drives better safety standards because companies have to earn our trust. And in the end, it just makes this incredible technology more accessible and affordable for everyone. So, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with this idea. We're leaving the world of one-size-fits-all AI behind. We're entering an era of specialized expert tools. So the question for you isn't really if you're going to use AI anymore. The real question is, with this explosion of new choices, which one are you going to master first?